Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
You know on the beat every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that while I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasha here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com as we got new merch dropping this week. That's right, BC merch. Beastie Comb signature merch is dropping, guys. The website will be updated hopefully by tomorrow. If I get my fingers are working and the work to cooperate a little bit, I'll get that updated and ready to go. So BC merch has dropped, guys. Check it out, manhourradio.com. And tomorrow and tomorrow only, during the show, we will be giving away a new Beastie t-shirt. So stay tuned for tomorrow, or tune in for tomorrow's show, as we will be giving away that right here on youtube.com/Man Hour. Speaking of Beastie Combs, let's welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Beastie Combs. What's going on, Combsy?
What is going on, Michael Buckheister? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? 313 The Flash, Belly Up Sports, everybody out there in the UK, drinking your tea, eating your crumpets. Man, what is going on? Dude, sports are going crazy over the last weekend.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, just all the playoff action in baseball, football, hockey starts tomorrow night. Man, this is like one of my favorite times of the year. I think my most favorite time of the year is when baseball starts up again, opening day.
Yeah.
Then you usually have March Madness tournament. So that's usually my favorite time of year, but this is a very close second.
Hands down, October is the best sports months out there, period. Because you literally have every sport happening right now, either wrapping up or getting reared up to start. So, I mean, you can literally watch a new sport, a new game every night in the month of October, and it is pretty awesome.
And my Bulls might be making the NBA worth watching again for me, because, man, they look good so far in the preseason. They look so good.
Yeah, I mean, it is preseason, and you know what they say about preseason. It doesn't matter. Same with like the NBA regular season. It doesn't matter either. So basically,
yeah.
No,
They still look good.
I'm totally kidding. But, guys, we do have some fans copying in here. What is up, Drew? So if you guys see Drew has that little mark above his name. If you're watching us here on youtube.com/Man Hour, that's because Drew is a member here on Man Hour. He is a part of Man Hour Nation. He has become a member by simply hitting that join button here at the bottom of your screen. And for 99 cents a month, guys, you get access to some promo discounts, some behind the scenes footage, some after hour show, and then of course we have $2.99 deal where we get a little bit more action. $5.99 deal, you get a free t-shirt after 6 months of being a part of Man Hour Nation. And if you become a $9.99 member, guys, you get a hoodie every year you are part of Man Hour Nation. So there's the Beastie merch out there. There's the waffle merch. We're having Cooking with Tori merch coming up as soon as Tori gives us some ideas of what he wants to do with that kind of merch. And of course, guys, we do have the signature Man Hour
I got
logo.
An idea.
What's that?
I'm gonna go to Tori's house. We're gonna take a picture of me hitting him over the head with a frying pan.
Oh, that'd be
Cooking with
perfect.
Tori.
Cooking with Tori.
I'm also gonna get it on video, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, that
with the frying pan.
Viral 101 right there. I mean, like, I was thinking of like a silhouette of like him like opening like a oven and like all the smoke.
I'm gonna be like Medea. I'm gonna be say Packers one more time. Say Packers one more time.
Say it. Also, guys, we do have. So somebody just bought a Beastie shirt there. That just come. Dang. Did you see that, Combs? Somebody just bought a Beastie shirt, and it's up on the screen. So thank you forever who bought that bought that Beastie merch there.
Oh.
So
I like it.
They bought the claw one, so it has the word Beastie with the claw cutting through it.
That's my favorite one. I like that one.
Yeah.
The Bearhead one's cool too with the crown because it kind of like goes with our logo, the MH with the crown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I really like it. That Beastie one though with the claw going through it. Look, Liz did a great job coming up with the ideas.
Yeah.
I definitely tweaked them a little bit just to make them pop a little bit. But this is her idea. This was her. You know what's funny is that this all came from a mix-up.
Yeah.
She thought you were calling me Beastie, even though you were only calling me BC. But out of that, we've got this merch, and I mean, like you said, from the time that we put it up today, this afternoon, it's been selling like hotcakes. So get your stuff before it sells out. Hey, Beastie merch might be the first out.
Yeah. So with that being said, Combs, you might have to update your Twitter handler too. So at Man Hour Combs is kind of old now.
Beastie?
Yeah. No, you did have to put Man Hour _ Beastie on it. So there you go.
Ooh.
And then, but you guys can find me on the old Twitter scene at Man Hour _ Buck. But to get into tonight's show, guys, we do have a poll going up over here at youtube.com/Man Hour. And the poll is, will the Kansas City Chiefs make the playoffs? So to vote, you exclamation point vote with yes or no. So we do have some votes rolling in. Drew voted yes. I'm going to vote no. And I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And Combs, that leads us to our first topic of the night. The Buffalo Bills fluxed on the Kansas City Chiefs last night in the Sunday night football game, 38-20. Are the Buffalo Bills the best team in the AFC, Combs?
In the AFC, yes, but it's close, and it's a team we're sleeping on that's really, really close with them, and that's the Chargers. The Chargers are right there, neck and neck. The Chargers are just one of those teams that are just, I mean, everybody's sleeping on them. Because I think it's just because they're the Chargers that everybody's sleeping on them. But no, the Buffalo Bills are the real deal. Like they are scoring points at an insane rate. You know, I went off last week on Bus about his rankings and having Buffalo number 1. Look, the Cardinals are still 5-0, and that's what I went off on him about. He had the Cardinals at 3, and he had the Bills at 1. I said his homerness was going in there, but they are scoring points at an alarming rate. Yeah. Now, the Kansas City defense, not really all is cracked up to be. Right. You know, so that's we'll get into that here in a little bit, but that Buffalo, I mean, they've scored 146 points in their last 4 games. Hell. I mean, that's an alarming number.
Hell, just think that's
last almost 3, 40 points a game.
I mean, just their last 3, what they scored 38 against the Kansas City Chiefs. They scored 40 against the they shut out the Houston Texans, right? And then they scored 34 versus the Miami Dolphins. Granted, they gave up 28 that game, but still, or 24.
Even before that, I mean opening game they lost 23-16. Since then, they've won 35-0, 43-21, 40-0. And 38-20.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills are the real deal.
Yeah.
They're good. My Super Bowl pick looks really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, definitely pump your chest about this one, just because, after that first week, Combs, we were kind of like, well, maybe they're not all as cracked up as we thought they would be, right? Like, well, just maybe not.
I told you to calm down. Weird stuff happens week 1.
Yeah, but man, these last 4 weeks they've been flexing on the entire NFL, no doubt about it in my mind. And they may not be the best team in the NFL per offense and per defense, special teams, etc. But they are the most complete team in the AFC, hands down. They can beat you on both sides of the ball. If you want to have a shootout, they can beat you in a shootout. And if you want to have a defensive slugfest, they can beat you in a defensive slugfest. So, I mean, right now, Combs, hands down, in my opinion, the Buffalo Bills are the most complete team. Are they the best team? No. I have to give that to the Chargers. Just like what you said.
Wow.
I think the Chargers are the best team in the AFC right now with some teams making some noise here late. Maybe we'll get into that later. But I mean, the Chargers to me is the most complete team, and this is coming from a Kansas City Chiefs guy. You know, I mean, my Kansas City Chiefs, right?
So, man, their resume right now is pretty impressive. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, Washington, all right, it's Washington, so whatever. And then they lost to the Cowboys.
But hey, on the flip side of that Washington football team, we thought they were going to be a damn good team. Or let me rephrase that. Torrey thought they were going to be a damn good team. 13-4,
Yeah,
I believe their reference was. I had them at 9-8, 8-9. So
yeah, but you had the Lions at 11-6. So
true, 10-6.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
whatever.
But then you got they beat the Chiefs, the Raiders, and the Browns.
Yeah, all good teams.
And they've scored a lot. They scored 30 against the Chiefs. They put up 28 against the Raiders, and they put up 47 against the Browns. And that Browns defense has been very, very good. And, somebody came at me didn't really come at me. They posted on Facebook and said, the Browns showed that they weren't elite. And I said, or the Chargers showed that they were.
Oh,
because that was back and forth. And when you play really good teams like that, you're going to get that back and forth. You're going to get that 47-42 type game. And it doesn't matter how good your defense is. It doesn't matter because the offenses are going to find a way to score because they need to in order to keep up. When you get caught up into a shootout, you look at the Rams a couple years ago when they were playing the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Everybody's talking about how high a score.
Yep.
Both of those defenses were very, very good that year. Both of them were. And that game ended up what? What's the final score of that one? It was like 55-53 or something.
Yeah, it was the highest Monday night game scoring ever, right?
Yeah. So sometimes your defenses will have those games, especially when you're going up against other elite teams. I think the Cleveland Browns are for real, but I think the Los Angeles Chargers are even more for real. I am a big, big believer in Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
So I was a big believer in him before he got drafted. And I thought he was probably one of the better quarterbacks in that draft, and he's proven me right. And he's really, really proven your theory of rookies need to sit for a year wrong.
Yeah,
so
100%. Yeah, there is no doubt in my mind. I've been wrong with a lot of stuff in the NFL this year, unfortunately. But we will definitely be talking more about the Browns-Chargers games here in hour number 2 of the Man Hour. But I want to swing back here to the Kansas City Chiefs here. The Kansas City Chiefs are now 2-3 on the season, Combs, and they are a sinking ship. Let's just be flat out honest about this. What do you think is wrong in Kansas City?
The defense. Look, you can't go through games they're giving up 32.6 points a game, and you can't do that in the NFL. You cannot do that in the NFL. You can't go into these games. I don't care how good your offense is. You can't tell your offense, hey, look, you need to get us 35 to 40 points a game in order for us to win. That just puts too much pressure. I don't care who the quarterback is. I don't care who the receivers are. I don't care who it is. That's too much pressure on the offense. Even in their 2 wins, the Browns and the Eagles, they gave up 29 points to the Browns. They came back and won that game. And they beat the Eagles, but they gave up 30. Other than that, they gave up 36 in a loss to the Ravens. They gave up 30 in a loss to the Chargers and 38 in a loss to the Bills. This defense is not holding up their end of the bargain. And I know that they're a late blooming defense. Everybody wants to keep reminding me, oh, they don't show up, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. If you're a late blooming defense and that's one of those things, you better start blooming now, though. Because if you find yourself in a hole, which the Kansas City Chiefs, they do get a kind of a weak schedule over the next few weeks. They got Washington, Tennessee, and the New York Giants. But then you get the Packers, Raiders, Cowboys, Raiders again, Chargers. Like, that's a rough schedule. You can find yourself real quick in a position where you're like 4-8, 4-9. And that could be a problem.
You know what? You can say they have a weak schedule moving forward here, but teams right now are they used to have Kansas City circled on their roster. Now they're erasing that circle. Like, well, this is a dub, right? But Combs, you are absolutely right. What is wrong in Kansas City? It's that defense 100%. Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator, cut his ass right now. Find somebody else. Terry Braden, the offensive defensive line coach, get his ass out of there too. How about this? Braden Daly, run game coordinator, defensive line coach, get your ass out of there too. You can't get pressure on a goddamn quarterback. Good God.
And
You
fire
suck.
Eric Bieniemy and send him to Chicago.
Oh,
sorry, I had to sneak that in there.
How about this? Darnold Diosena, the defense assistant. What are you the assistant of? Giving up 80 points a game? God, you suck. Get your ass out of here. Lie out of here too. How about this? Ken Filoje, outside linebacker coach. We run at 4-2. Where's the outside linebacker at? Oh, mind blowing because you can't make a goddamn tackle anyways. Get your ass out of here too. How about this, Combs? Defensive quality specialist Connor Emery. He's a quality control. He wants to bring quality to the defense. My man, you aren't bringing any freaking quality to this goddamn defense whatsoever. You are absolutely hired. You're fired too. How about this? Linebacker coach Matt House. Teach your motherfuckers how to tackle. God, you guys suck. How about this? Defensive back and coordinator Sam Madison. Sorsen got burned 4 times on Sunday night. Wide open, 20 yards gaps. You're gone, Sam. Oh, so we have a defensive backs and coordinators coach, and then we have a defensive backs coach as well, Dave Merritt. You're gone too, buddy. Man, the Kansas City defense, this is the worst freaking defense, Combs, I've ever seen in my whole entire life. I heard a fact earlier today that the greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams from 2000 with Kurt Warner, Terry Holt, Marshall Faulk, and like all those guys, they were averaging 7 yards a play in 2000, Combs.
Yeah.
The Kansas City Chiefs defense right now is giving up 7.8 yards a play. So they are giving up more yards to offenses that should be giving up 3 to 4 yards of play tops. I mean, this is historically bad defense, Combs. I have never seen nothing so pathetic in my life. Like literally, they could be a lockdown defense for the next 15 weeks and probably still rank 32nd in every defensive category in the NFL. They are that freaking bad. If they do not turn it around quick, Combs, the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be outside looking in, finishing at a 9-8 record as like a 8th seed in the playoffs. Oh, guess what? There aren't 8 teams in the playoffs, Combs. There's only 7. They're going to miss the freaking playoffs, Combs. Good God. They are that freaking bad right now.
You sound like me after the Bears lost to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
You sound like me talking about the Bears offense. Like, I mean, you just want to. Buck said, fire everybody not named Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
and Andy Reid.
I will. No, so I will take. I will keep Mike Fraser. He is the statistical analyst coordinator. That's a fancy term that I hold a clipboard on the sidelines and I get my stats wrong 9 out of 10 times.
Dude,
that's what.
But
his
you know
job
what?
is.
For his paycheck, I'll stand on the sidelines and I'll hold the clipboard too, and I'll be the statistic analyst coordinator. As you can call me whatever the hell you want. Yeah. I'll be your damn water boy.
Honestly,
for that much money.
At this point, and for the Kansas City Chiefs, saying of the fans in general, you need to keep 2 people on this coaching roster, period. Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. That's it. Everybody else gone. Hire high school staff. They could probably coach a better defense right now than Steve Spagnuolo
don't
can.
save Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy needs to come to Chicago.
You know what? Have him, Combs, because you guys are great at forming head coaches, right? Matt Nagy.
No, hey,
you guys like our sloppy seconds.
We're great defensively. We just need somebody who can develop a quarterback.
You know what?
And somebody who can run an offensive game plan. And I think Eric Bieniemy is that guy.
Take Steve Spagnuolo.
No,
I mean
he was
Steve great.
Spagnuolo.
He was great in New York, right, guys? I mean, because
we've already got a guy who can't run an offense. Why do we want Steve Spagnuolo?
When the Kansas City Chiefs hired Steve Spagnuolo, it was the most head-scratching hire in my whole entire life. I'm like, this guy was giving up 30-plus points with the New York Giants. Why do you want to bring him to Kansas City? Oh, they have better talent. Combs, name 3 players on the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
Honey Badger.
Okay. Yeah, exactly.
A honey badger.
Okay, yeah, okay. And Chris
And,
Jones,
the honey badger.
Mr. Felony Chris Jones himself, right?
Chris Jones. Yeah, I forgot about Chris Jones.
The Kansas City Chiefs has nobody on the defense, Combs. It is absolutely horrendous. It pisses me off each and every day that I watch the Kansas City Chiefs now. And now that the offense has come crashing back down to reality, Smash Mouth from 1988 or 1998, I should say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sickening to watch, Combs. Sickening. So,
I mean, they do it. They got. I'm trying to think of his name. It's a basketball name too.
Eric Schwartzen, the guy that got burned 5 times deep last night.
Okafor.
Yeah, the safety.
Isn't that like the kid's brother or cousin or something from the? I believe he plays for maybe the Grizzly. I don't even know.
I have no idea.
I know he plays basketball. There's
he
an
should
Okafor
probably
who
go
plays
play basketball because he sucks too. Get his ass out of there. Combs, I would take the Houston Texans defense right now over the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Matter of fact, give me the Houston Texans front office, and I'll put them on the defensive side of the ball, and I bet you they at least rank 30th.
Yikes!
That's how bad the Kansas City Chiefs suck.
So I just looked it up. Okafor has 3 solo tackles this year.
Yeah,
0
congratulations.
sacks, 0 forced fumbles,
Mhm.
0 interceptions. He's tied for 89th in interceptions, tied for 97th in forced fumbles.
Yeah.
He is over 150 ranked in sacks and over 150 ranked in tackles.
Sounds like he's having a great season.
Yeah.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and sign him to a $15 million 5-year extension in the offseason because, by golly, we need that, don't we? Jesus.
Let me ask you, I think they'll sneak into the playoffs. I think they'll be a wild card team.
They will.
In the playoffs.
That's the only way they can.
Yeah, because there's no way. I mean, look, unless you see a monumental collapse by the Chargers, I mean, you've got to make up 3 games now.
Yeah. Because the Chargers
to the Chargers
own the head-to-head tiebreaker too, right? So it's 4 games,
well,
isn't it?
Yeah, but they'll play them again, and so they're 4-1, and the Chiefs are 2-3. Now, maybe you woke up a sleeping giant because I did say I had them with 3 losses this year, but I had them starting the season 0-3 and then winning 14 straight because they're that talented. They really are.
Yeah, but now, they also have Smokin' Joe on their roster now too, so they might be sleepy still.
That's true. How did he play this week? Did
he had 1 catch and he got like 3 holding calls.
So he was like OBJ for the Browns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he is a big-bodied receiver that Kansas City Chiefs need apparently, from what the experts say. But whatever. I don't know. But guys, we are going to take our first break on the night. On the other side of the break, we are going to talk some Liz's Denver Broncos. Were they the worst 3-0 team ever? Because they dropped down to 3-2 now. So we'll talk about that.
3-0 last year.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers. And of course, we're going to talk about your man, Mr. Top 10 himself. I'm going to leave that right there. Leave a little bit of cliffhanger, guys. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Stay tuned. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs tonight. Beastie merch is now live at manhourradio.com, so be sure to check that out. We will be giving away some Beastie t-shirts tomorrow, so be sure to tune in here at youtube.com/manhour. That is October 12th if you're listening to this in podcast or radio form. So October 12th, Tuesday, we will be giving away Beastie merch live at youtube.com/manhour at 8 p.m. East Coast time to 10 p.m. East Coast time. So it is free to enter, and it is just a raffle giveaway. However, you do have to be a subscriber on the YouTube channel to win. So, guys, we've talked a little bit of the Kansas City Chiefs, but now it is time to talk about Combs' man, the myth, the legend himself, Jameis Winston. Combs. Jameis Winston threw for 4 touchdowns and 1 interception on Sunday in Week 5 NFL action. Are we ready to admit that Winston is better for the Saints than Drew Brees was this last season?
I said it last year. And the funny thing is they still haven't opened him up. They still have not allowed him to do the things that he was doing in Tampa Bay, which is obviously, I know people are going to say, well, yeah, throwing for interceptions, but throwing for 5,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns in the season. I really like Jameis Winston. I've been very vocal about him being a top 10 quarterback in this league. I've been very vocal about him being the best quarterback on the Saints roster. That being said, I'm going to slow down just a little bit because, yes, he had 4 touchdowns and 1 interception, but he was 15 of 30. He threw for 279 yards. His rating was a 108.2. That was his passer rating. But he was 15 of 30. And that's concerning. When you're only completing 50% of your passes, it's a little concerning. And what he's doing this season, is 60% of his passes. So I want to see a little bit more production. I want to see them open it up a little bit more. I think they're getting to that. They did that a little bit against Washington. I think his long was like 72 yards. So I think that was actually the longest pass of his career as well. So maybe they'll start to open him up. Maybe they'll start to let him loose. They're going to have to with their schedule coming up. That schedule that the New Orleans Saints have. I mean, they've got, I can't remember who they have this way. I know they've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up in 2 weeks. They got the Seahawks this weekend on next Monday night. And then Falcons, Titans, Eagles before they get to Buffalo. And, I mean, these are some teams that you can really open it up on. The Buccaneers, you can absolutely open it up on. And they've showed signs of being that defense where you can score with them. So that's what I want to see out of them. I think Jameis has it in him. I would just want to see them allow him to do what he can do. And if he throws 2 or 3 picks, but throws for 5 touchdowns and throws for 500 yards, I'm okay with that because you're coming out with a win. That defense is good enough to overcome, 1 or 2 interceptions. So I'm okay with Jameis Winston, throwing a couple picks here and there because I'm okay with a guy who's throwing for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, even if he's throwing 18 interceptions in a season. Not the 30 that he threw in Tampa Bay, but I think that was the aberration. The guy's averaged only 16 a season for his career so far. So the 15 to 18 range, I'm okay with that from a Jameis Winston if he's throwing for 5,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns.
Yeah, so on the flip side of that, you said you want them to push the ball down the field per se, but if you think about this, Michael Thomas is out. Like, he is on the IR, and I don't think he's coming back this season because, there's rumors of him wanting to trade, etc. So when you look at the wide receiver depth, they have Marquez Callaway and Kenny Stills. That's pretty much all of the receivers that they have. And so when you take away that downfield threat that Michael Thomas had, yes, Kenny Stills can still open it up a little bit, but there's a reason why he's been on 4 different teams in 4 years, right? It's just like he is just not that good of receiver. So when you look at it, the best playmaker that the Saints have on their team is Alvin Kamara, and he is a running back. And that's when you nickel and dime down the field. And I think that's how the Saints are going to have a lot of success this year, is nickel and diming down the field.
Let me throw this at you.
Okay.
The Cleveland Browns are clearly, and Baker Mayfield especially, clearly not in love with Odell Beckham Jr.
Right.
Should the Saints make an offer for Odell Beckham Jr.? I mean, you could probably get Odell Beckham Jr. for a 4th-round pick. I'd give up a 4th-round pick for Odell Beckham Jr. Look, I know he's not the greatest route runner, but the guy's got hands.
He does
the
have
guy's
hands.
got really good hands. And if he develops a chemistry with you, that's going to make, what's his name, Marquez Callaway, that's going to make him even more dangerous.
True. I see what you're saying, but besides the big catch and a couple okay seasons in New York, what has Odell Beckham Jr. really done for you? He is the most overrated receiver in the NFL that I've ever seen. I
don't disagree. I think he's overrated as well. But I just say, look, he's a big target. He's got hands. The guy can stay with, anybody speed-wise. I mean, he's a pretty quick wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I just, I don't know. Like, I'd like to see it's something. It's better than what you got.
Right.
I mean, OBJ's better than Kenny Stills, right?
Like what Drew said last night, that's kind of comparing apples to oranges as you can compare apples to oranges. Now, I think, so let me revert back to what you said here real quick. You said that the Cleveland Browns are not in love with Odell Beckham Jr., and maybe Odell Beckham Jr. isn't in love with the Cleveland Browns either. But on the flip side of that coin, Jarvis Landry is still hurt, if I'm not mistaken. I think he got put on the IR. I'd have to check that, but he's been out the last 2 weeks. So out of necessity, the Cleveland Browns need Odell Beckham Jr. on the field.
But they're not using him.
Well, but they are using him as a decoy, and when Jarvis Landry comes back, that will mean, who do you guard then, right? Maybe because Odell Beckham Jr. still has that name notoriety where you have to guard him with a good cornerback. Like you can't put a linebacker on him.
5 targets in 2 weeks.
But still, that
5 targets.
Maybe that's because Jarvis Landry is out and they're double teaming him. I mean, like, I haven't watched the film
Odell
on it.
Beckham Jr. was prior to this, right? So he's been in the league. This is his 8th year in the league. He's had 2 seasons where he's been hurt, so he's missed some time. So I'm gonna take those 2 seasons out of it. So he had 621 yards receiving in those 2 seasons where he got hurt. So take those out of it.
Okay.
The 5 seasons that he wasn't hurt, he's got 6,332 receiving yards in those 5 seasons.
So it's not bad.
It's pretty damn good.
Right.
I mean, that's an average of a little over 1,000 yards a season.
So you saying that he is good?
I'm saying if he stays healthy and he's in the right mindset and he develops a chemistry with you, he can return to that form. He's not a top 10 wide receiver. Even with those numbers, he's not a top 10 wide receiver. He's not DeAndre Hopkins. He's not Julio Jones in his prime. He's not Megatron. He's not those guys. But he's a good weapon. And if the Saints could go out and make a play for a guy who's only getting 5 targets from his team and make him the primary receiver on your team, you're going to make him extremely happy. And when he's extremely happy, he's shown that he can perform.
He can perform, and he also can propose really well too. So he has that going for him.
I get it. Like, I get the hesitation on OBJ. I really do. I understand it, especially with the injury bug. But he'd be worth a chance because he's better than what you have, with the exception of Callaway, because Callaway and Jameis have a chemistry together.
Right.
He's better than what you have.
So, Combs, you have been adamant of saying that Winston is a top 10 quarterback all offseason, all previous season before that. You have pumped the brakes a little bit, but is Winston still a top 10 quarterback in your eyes?
Yeah, he's still got the capability to be a top 10 quarterback. Is he a top 10 quarterback right now? I'd venture to almost say yes. I mean, you look at what this guy has done in the 5 games now that they've played, okay, and what he's done is only in 5 games, so for 12 touchdowns and only throw 3 interceptions. He's only thrown for 892 yards though. That's where I've got room to pause, but I think that's a system thing. They haven't allowed him to open it up. But the 12 touchdowns to 3 interceptions, there's nothing wrong there. He's making good reads. Now they're keeping him short. They're not letting him air it out. So that might be helping that along a little bit. And that might be the recipe to success. But they've got to allow him to be him. They've got to roll him out more. They've got to allow him to air it out a little bit. And I think he'll be fine.
Well, I mean, do you really want him to allow him to be him more per se?
Yes.
Like I use air quotes there, because the Saints are second in the South right now at a 3-2 record. I mean, they're obviously winning games and they're performing, doing what they're doing. So why switch it up and maybe make Winston a turnover machine again?
Because let's take the record and being second in the division out of it, right?
Okay.
You lose 26-7 to the team leading your division, the Carolina Panthers. You lose 26-7 to them because you don't air it out, because you're just throwing the ball short, because they've got a decent defense.
Or because the Carolina Panthers are that good.
Then you go in and you air it out a little bit, and you beat the hell out of the Patriots in New England. It was a hell of a win.
Yeah.
Then you come back and you lose to the Giants 27-21. Like, that is a defense, if you're starting to open it up more, you're going to put points on a board. If you let Jameis Winston take over that game, they win that game. And now instead of 3-2, you're sitting at 4-1, and you're leading the division.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point, but it's a double-edged sword, I think. Like, why fix what's not broken? You know what I'm saying? Yes, they lost a game that they could have won. But
it's not like you're running a juggernaut team, though, with what you're doing. I mean, you're running a very beatable offense with what you're doing. At this point, what you got to do, your game plan at this point is to stop Alvin Kamara, because you're not going to beat me deep, because you won't go deep with Jameis Winston.
Yeah, but can you stop Alvin Kamara?
Yeah. I mean, you can contain him. It's not like, I mean, Alvin Kamara hasn't really...
You can contain him, but you can't...
exploded just yet. I mean, Alvin Kamara hasn't had... a MVP type season. I mean, the guy's only got 368 yards this season.
Yeah, but the season is still young, and only time will tell if the explosion happens, right? So speaking of explosions here, the Denver Broncos came exploding out of the gate, Combs. They were 3-0. They were a 1-minute wonder there, but now they have dropped 3-2 on the season, losing to the Pittsburgh Steelers here on Sunday, Week 5 NFL action. Combs, were the Denver Broncos the worst 3-0 team that we have ever seen?
No, I mean, I'm not going to go there. They're, first of all, they lost their starting quarterback. So, I mean, that's a huge blow. And especially when Drew Lock is your backup, it's a huge blow. I'm not gonna say they were the worst 3-0 team ever. I think that the Bears were a pretty bad 3-0 team that we saw last year. There's been other 3-0 teams that we've seen. Hell, I don't even think they're the Steelers. I don't think they're the worst 3-0 team that there was this year. I think that might actually be Carolina. So, they've got a tough, and I knew this was a tough stretch. I said this was going to be a tough stretch, and this was going to be the telltale. They needed to go 3-3 in this stretch to prove to me that they were a for real team and that they weren't just all smoke and mirrors. I didn't believe in them before this little stretch, and they're not doing much to prove me wrong in this little stretch. They've got the Raiders this week, a very winnable game, a game that they should win, but they're also going to get a very angry Raiders team that's lost 2 in a row. And then they get the Browns. That's going to be a tough game. And then you got the Washington, not Redskins anymore, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Philadelphia Eagles before you get the Chargers and Chiefs. It's like, I don't know. It's just not looking good for the Denver Broncos. They need to get if they get Teddy Bridgewater back, you might get a more accurate read. Well, but right now without Teddy Bridgewater, it's tough.
Teddy Bridgewater is back. He did play last week versus the Steelers, and he actually led a some last second drives to pull them closer.
Did he play in this game?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. Oh,
yeah,
God.
He
That's even worse.
he cleared concussion protocol like Wednesday, I think, of like last week. But when you look at the Denver Broncos here, they are a really good team at home. But when they travel, they are meh. Right, they're like the Kansas City Chiefs defense. They forget to show up for 3/4 of the season, and then the last quarter, bada bing, bada boom. They're where'd this Broncos team come from, right? But also on the flip side of that coin, the Denver Broncos defense is kind of injured. Chubb is out again, which I don't think I've ever seen Von Miller and Chubb on the same field at the same time for the Denver Broncos ever. I mean, if
That's
they can get their defense right, they will be fine moving forward. Just because the Kansas City Chiefs are struggling right now, and there are 3 wild card teams, and they could all possibly make it out of the AFC West, just because the AFC is so loaded and they beat each other down game after game after game.
I'm sorry, Liz. I tried giving them the benefit of the doubt. I didn't know Bridgewater played this weekend. Now I feel like that meme from The Office where I'm just like,
well, Leashy gave us some awesome BC merch that we will be giving away tomorrow here on the Man Hour, youtube.com/Man Hour. So if you guys are just tuning in, we will be giving away some BC merch tomorrow. So be sure to tune in, as we do need to promote that highly, highly much. We do have Shot Top coming up here at an hour number 2 of Man Hour. So here in about 15 minutes, we'll be opening up to some Shop Talk. So I have some questions that are pinned in the comments that I'm going to like ask here, Combs. But speaking of the Steelers and Broncos game, still on the flip side of that coin, the Pittsburgh Steelers do improve to 2-3 on the season. Ben Roethlisberger kind of looked not so old this game. Are they finding their groove? Because Najee Harris rushed for 25 to 26 times for 130 yards. So are they finding their groove?
No. They're about to lose to Geno Smith and the Seahawks on Sunday night. Then they're going to lose to the Browns. Then they're going to lose to the Bears. They'll probably beat the Lions because the Lions are terrible. Then
Curse
they'll lose
those
to the Chargers,
Lions!
Bengals, Ravens, Vikings, Titans, Chiefs, Browns, Ravens. I don't think they'll win another game other than against the Lions.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
And Juju's probably out for the rest of the season as well. So that hurts their wide receiver depth as well. And Claypool like one of the most like diva wide receivers ever in the NFL right now too. Man, I cannot stand him for whatever reason. Like, I know he is a Notre Dame guy and you're a fan of him, but his TikTok pisses me off. Let's just be honest about that. Like,
he's probably done for the season now.
Juju?
Yeah.
Yeah. Juju is, but Claypool, he's still there. And I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they need to run the ball
Without
80%
Juju,
of the
though,
time.
Is Claypool anything?
Like, that's kind of what I was asking. Like, who else do they have? Because like, if you look at the roster here, as I'm pulling it up, my internet's slow because everybody's watching Murder Mysteries. So if I ever end up dead, you guys know why, because my wife knows how to do that. But yeah, they have Eric Ebron is the only receiver that I know, and he's a freaking tight end. James Washington is out. Chase Claypool, Devontae Johnson, Ray McLeod, Cody White, and Juju is out. So
really?
if there's ever of a time for wide receivers to like find work, I know 55-year-old Terrell Owens was looking for some work, so he could play for the Steelers. Calvin Johnson probably still has a little left in the tank, even though he's been retired for 7 years. He can go play for them. It just, I don't know. I mean, the Steelers suck. Sorry,
they're not good. And I didn't think they were going to be good. I only had them at 5 wins this season.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're going to get to that. They're going to probably win a couple of games they shouldn't win. They might beat the Seahawks because Geno Smith is their quarterback this week. They
And it's
might
at
beat
home.
Baltimore once because it's a rivalry game. They could possibly, if they force the Bengals to kick field goals and miss them all day long, then they could beat the Bengals. But
Not a far-fetched idea.
It's not going to be a ton of victories coming for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's for sure.
Well, they also play the Minnesota Vikings. They like to miss field goals as well. So, I mean,
That's true.
if in theory you can with that
And they'll be
championship-
losing to the Lions until about a minute to go.
Yeah.
And then what they're going to do is they're going to kick a 95-yard field goal, and they're going to cause Dan Campbell to cry again in his press conference.
Oh man,
What a freaking yeah! I seriously almost turned into when I'm watching that. I almost turned into what's his face that the actor I can't think. Tom Hanks. Are you crying?
there's no
There's
crying
no
in baseball.
crying in football. I was like, what am I watching
Oh,
right now?
man.
He's like, they tried so hard, dude. Shut up. Coach your team.
Don't you try
Stop
hard
talking about
every
bringing-
day? God,
Stop
it's
trying
so
to
ridiculous,
bring
man.
Lions to practice and actually learn football.
I mean,
Maybe that'll help.
Oh, come on, man.
Unbelievable.
Screw
Lions are
those
terrible.
Lions. Come on. They have crushed my heart the last 2 seasons. Cry all you want, my man. You are ridiculous. But Combs, we are up against the next break, guys. We're going to open up to Shop Talk. I see some questions that I have queued up. I want to ask those during Shop Talk. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, guys. If you got any questions for us, head over to youtube.com/manhour. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and hit the like button, and then you can ask a question. But before that, I might consider it, but I don't know. We'll be right back, guys. We'll be right back. That's something. But I got to find the button. There it is.
Rookie.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and I. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the new merch that we just dropped. The Beastie merch is live. The Brandon Combs Signature Series will be up and operational by the end of the week. That's guaranteed that Buck Nasty has given you. But tomorrow, guys, we'll be giving away some Beastie merch right here on Man Hour. So youtube.com/Man Hour, 8 p.m. East Coast time, October 12th, 2021. That is a Tuesday. Tune in as we will be giving away some Beastie merch. Speaking of Beastie, let's welcome him back on to the show, Beastie. So, isn't it funny how sometimes nicknames just like stick, and now all of a sudden you're Beastie Combs at a BC, and it just, I don't know, just kind of crazy.
Hey, you know, I'll take it. Look, man, I've been divorced twice.
Yeah.
So I've had much worse nicknames than Beastie. I'll tell you. I've been called a lot of things. I'll take Beastie. That's all right. I mean, look, there's some good things, like what, the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good name out of Beastie.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
I mean, hey, he got the girl at the end, right?
Yeah, and you got the girl
Hey.
now, so it just roles are reversed.
Yeah.
But you're still
So,
ugly.
I mean, oh yeah, that name fits, man. Beastie fits. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't scared.
But yeah, so guys, Beastie merch is live at manhourradio.com. Go ahead and click on the merchandise page, and I will be, tweaking the website there. So guys, be sure to tune in and give me some feedback of how you like the merch section. Also, guys, Project XX is taking big steps, hopefully tomorrow. So if you guys want to be a part of Project XX, be sure you become a member right here at youtube.com/manhour. Simply click on that join button, and a little 99 cents a month, you can become a member. So Project XX is coming hopefully very, very soon. We'll get more details hopefully by the end of the week. And as they start to sprinkle in, if you are a member, you will find out what is happening. So stay tuned for that. So definitely become a member. So Combs, it is time for Shop Talk, and I do have a couple questions that are highlighted here that I want to ask. So Drew asked, so this was when we were talking about Winston and the Saints, about him going 15 for 30 last week here in Week 5 NFL action. Drew asked, were those missed passes because of his errant throws or receiver errors? I did not watch the game myself. Like, I have not had a chance to break down that film yet. But usually when a receiver drops the ball, they're a drop category, right? And I'm looking at the stats from that game, and there's only 3 drops in that game. So there's at least 17 incompletion passes, or sorry, 13 completions that were just bad throws.
Right.
So,
and that's, I mean, look, it's one of those where you just, sometimes too, I mean, you got to understand, like, they probably don't have the best route running wide receivers right now.
oh, hands down, they don't.
And, are you running bad routes? Was he rushed on some of these passes where some of them deflected at the line, where, I've got to look at the hurries. I've got to look at, I didn't really watch the game, so I don't really know, how he really played. The numbers look good, though. I mean, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, those are good numbers. So
yeah, he didn't have 15 interceptions or 3 back-to-back-to-back. So, I mean, that's all positive in that aspect. But usually on Wednesdays is like when I break down the film, because I got the NFL package where I can, like, replay the games in, like, a half hour. So so Wednesdays are usually my slower days. So I get a lot of caught-up film on that. And then Javi comes in and says Casey will be just fine. They may not lose a game now. I mean, that's
wouldn't
how you have
surprise
them,
me.
Combs, right?
I mean, I did have him going. I had it going a little bit differently. I had him going 0-3 and then going off on a tangent, but it wouldn't surprise me. And we even talked about it after you went off on your little rant. We talked about it during the break.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. It wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden, I trust that offense enough to where it would not surprise me to see them rattle off, 14 or 12 straight wins and finish the season at 14-3. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. They're that damn good. That offense is that damn good. Patrick Mahomes is that damn good. And at some point, that defense will wake up and realize that they're pretty damn good too. So something will give. Something's got to give, and we'll see what it is. It's going to be one of 2 things. Either they're going to come back and wake up, or they're going to struggle all season long, and they're going to end up with a first-round exit, and there's going to be some changes in Kansas City.
I mean, the only changes that might happen is Eric Bieniemy might become a USC head coach, and that's about it. But Drew says that Kansas City will make the playoffs. So if you guys do not know, we are running a poll over here at youtube.com/manhour. And the question is, will Kansas City Chiefs make the playoffs? And Drew says they will make the playoffs, but they may not make it past the first round. So
how weird would that be?
Yeah. I mean, back-to-back Super Bowls.
The Chiefs not in the playoffs? Yeah, especially after back-to-back Super Bowls.
Yes.
To not even make the playoffs.
So 3 AFC Championship chip games, back-to-back playoffs. So if the playoffs were to start right now, obviously it's still week 5, long way to go, right? But if the playoffs were to start right now in the AFC, Combs, the number 1 seed would be the Los Angeles Chargers. Coming in at number 2 would be the Buffalo Bills. 3 would be the Ravens. 4 would be the Titans. 5 would be the Cincinnati Bengals. 6 would be the Raiders, and 7 would be the Denver Broncos. So the Kansas City Chiefs would be out of the playoffs right now. Granted, yes, I know they're 2 and 3 and they're tied for like 11th, but right now, hindsight's 20/20. They're out of the playoffs, and man, look at these playoffs. That would be a really, really weird playoff, Combs. Let's just be honest. Broncos, Raiders, Bengals, Titans, Ravens, Bills, Chargers. What?
God.
Wow.
That would be, yeah.
That would and then the
Broncos
NFC side
would be in the playoffs, huh? They'd back in with the 7th seed?
Yeah, so the Broncos would play the Bills, Raiders would play the Ravens, Bengals would play the Titans. The Cincinnati Bengals would be in the playoffs.
What seed would they be?
Number 5 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, I can't wrap my head around that. What I really can't wrap my head around is the Chicago Bears would be the 6th seed in the NFC.
Really?
Yeah.
What are the seeds in the NFC?
So on the NFC side, if the playoffs were to start today, which obviously they don't, Arizona Cardinals would be 1, Dallas Cowboys would be 2, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be 3, Packers 4, Rams 5, all 4-1, by the way, and then the Bears and Carolina Panthers coming at 6 and 7.
Wow.
So you'd have the Panthers Cowboys matchup, Bears Bucks, and Rams Packers matchup. All really, really good games, like I might add.
Bears, Bucks, huh?
Yeah.
You think maybe Tom Brady forgets it's 4th down again?
He definitely
Any chance
could.
of that happening?
I mean, he definitely could. So back to the chat here on Chop Talk, guys. So if you guys got any questions, feel free to ask them here at youtube.com/manhour. Or if you're watching us on Facebook, I'd like as well, facebook.com/manhour sports talk. Go ahead and ask away. I think I already read that. Javi says Casey will be just fine, may not lose a game now. I think we just said that. And then he says, but they will be better now. They will win and maybe not lose a game. He said that twice. Okay. He is really adamant that Kansas City will not lose a game for the rest of the year. And then Kansas City knows what they have to play to. Casey knows how that they have to play to best game given Sunday because every team is aiming for that. So basically, he says they have to step up every game because
yeah,
every team's
you
aiming
should
for
know what that means. I mean, that's straight Buccaneers.
Yeah, that's straight Buccaneers. Buccaneers merch coming soon, as you guys, as soon as you tell me how to spell it. So yeah, I mean,
Oh
obviously,
my God. We've got it.
Obviously, guys, Kansas City has a target on their back 100%. That's why they lost to the Bills. That's why the Browns took them, to the last play of the game. That's why the Chargers whooped that ass. I mean,
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of the Buccaneers shirt. We can make it so there'll be 2 B's and 3 U's, and then the CK and the INESE. Buccaneers, like your stuff.
yeah, perfect. Mock it up right now, Combs.
I'm doing it.
Mock it up right now. We'll launch it next week, next Monday. So Javi says,
"I love you."
Yeah, it's all love, brother. You guys can all. I mean, we've all been there. Javi says he got paid last night. The White Sox, baby, damn, can't lose every bet. Yeah, Javi. I mean, you're bound to win one. I mean, 1 out of 100 isn't bad.
Well, when you make a good bet, it wasn't looking like I bet after that second inning where they were down 5-1, you were like, "Are you freaking kidding me right now?" Like.
So here is a good question from Drew. This is what Shop Talk is all about, guys. So if you guys want a textbook question for Shop Talk, this is it. Take notes right here. Drew asks, my question is about the Arizona Cardinals versus the Chargers. Who would win that game?
I'm going Arizona. I think Arizona is the best team in football. And, I think that Arizona defense would find a way to slow down the Chargers offense just enough that, it would be probably I'd say 35-27 type game.
So you're picking 35-27 Arizona Cardinals over the Chargers if they were to play like right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Let me tell you the truth here, Combs. Arizona Cardinals, the most overrated 5-0 team in all of NFL. They are not that good, Combs. Just face it. They are still going to finish 9-8. They're only going to win 4 more games. Drew is going to be sitting here crying, but then he'll flip over the TV and like, oh, the Bills are on. Oh, wait, the Dolphins are on. Oh, wait, the Lions.
So
the Arizona Cardinals will get their ass
perspective.
whooped by the Chargers, hands down.
Let's put this in perspective, okay?
Okay.
We said the NFC West was the best division in football, okay?
Your words, not mine.
Okay. So that's right. You had the Detroit Lions being 11-5. So let's take that into account. First of all.
I actually said the AFC West was going to be the best division, but the
NFC
West was strong.
Then we were talking about how the Rams might be 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. We were talking about the Rams might be the best defense in football. They might be the best team in football.
Yeah.
And Arizona went out and put a hurting on them in L.A. 37-20, beat them by 17 points.
Flex on those mofos.
Then they go out against San Francisco 49ers, also in the NFC West.
Yeah.
Beat them 17-10.
Without Jimmy G.
Without Jimmy G. I'll give them that. Without Jimmy G, they beat them 17-10. They also beat the Titans 38-13.
Shit team.
You still have to... Sure, I wouldn't say a shit team, but middle of the road. I'll give you middle of the road.
Chiefs are better than Titans, and the Chiefs suck right now.
Chiefs... right now, the Titans are better than the Chiefs the way they're playing right now.
Okay.
The Vikings and the Jaguars, I'll give you those are soft wins.
Yeah.
But they're 5-0.
You are right. You are
in the best division
right.
in football. They're 5-0.
Well, they've only played two division games.
They're not smoke and mirrors. They got the Browns in Cleveland this Sunday. It's gonna be a good game.
It is going to be a great game.
It's going to be a good game.
This is a game that I have circled to watch. Yeah.
If they lose, it wouldn't shock me, but it'll be a close game.
Right.
Then they get the Texans. They're going to murder the Texans.
No loss. Davis Mills steps up and they win again. This will be their second win. Okay. Carry on.
Then they get the smoke and screen Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. Lambeau West, as they call it. That's a loss. So 3 losses in a row.
Then they get the Niners again.
Oh, that'd be a good game because it's at it's at Levi Stadium.
Then Panthers, Seahawks,
do you think Jimmy G
Bears,
will be back for that game?
Probably.
I think if Jimmy G plays and George Kittle is back, the 49ers win that game. But if not, they lose.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, you're talking about a team that is averaging 30 points a game.
For now.
They're only giving up I believe I'd have to do the math here. I'm trying to do it in my head real quick. But I think they're giving up, it looks like about 20 to 22 points a game is what they're giving up, but they're scoring 30.
Yeah. I mean, that one game versus the Vikings really kind of skewed their points per game.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, other than the Vikings, take the Viking games out of it, they gave up 13, 19, 20, and 10.
So 17 points a game, basically.
Yeah. So I don't understand where you feel there's smoke and mirrors there. They're good on offense.
I'm not saying that they're smoke and mirrors.
Defense.
I'm saying that they're overrated. Because people are saying Super Bowl. I still take the Rams over them in the Super Bowl. I still take the Cowboys over them.
The same Rams that they walked into their house, kissed their mom on the cheek, and said, "What's up?" Call me daddy, and beat them 37-20 in their own house.
Yep, those same Rams. I also would take the Bucks over them. Hell, I would take the Seahawks over them.
Cheers. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I will, and I'll win. I mean, my bets are like Javier bets, so.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep betting like Javier bets. I'll take all your money.
But realistically, though, Combs, looking at their schedule moving forward, I mean, obviously the Texans is probably going to be a win. I feel that the Panthers are kind of like a toss-up. The Lions is going to be a win. The Colts.
I think they're going to destroy the Packers.
You think they're going to destroy the Packers?
Yeah, the Packers' defense is so bad right now. They can't stop the run. That's a
Thanksgiving night game, isn't it?
No, that's on October 28th.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
they're
sorry.
going to
Thursday night
to just wallop the Green Bay Packers.
I mean, I don't mean it. It depends what Green Bay Packers show up. Is it the Green Bay Packers from first half versus the Detroit Lions or the second half of the Detroit Lions game? If it's
James
the second
Conner is going to run for 160 yards in that game.
numbers, first of all, I hate running backs with the number 6 now or 7 or go back to the old number scheme. It's pissing me off. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not going to lie.
Why do
Javier
you
says
care what number they're wearing?
because it's stupid. Like I hate number 7. Like that's a defensive end. Yes, I know Diggs is killing it. And then their number 1 receivers and number 2 running backs. It's so dumb. But Javier says the Chargers will win. I mean, I think it would be a great game. Honestly, like they could probably slug it out like the Chiefs and Rams did. 2018.
I'm taking the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are their best team in football. I think it would be a good game. I do. I mean, that Chargers defense is the real deal. They can slow you down, but that Cardinals defense is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
You got Chandler Jones on one end, J.J. Watt on the other end. They are so good, and they're fast. They get to the ball. I mean, it's just man. I think they would give Justin Herbert fits.
Javier just said that Tua is like Jimmy G, a good player but fragile as hell. 100% correct on that one. As far as the fragile part, I don't know. No.
Oh,
I mean, as far as the fragile part, yes. As a player part, Tua,
who did he compare?
Tua and Jimmy G.
Man, it's kind of a good comparison, injury-wise.
Injury-wise, yes. Player-wise,
Quarterback-wise, I'll take Jimmy G any day of the week over Tua.
Yeah, but so if we have to compare Tua to somebody actively in the NFL, who is going to be? Probably Kirk Cousins, right? Most really overrated and underperforming, right?
No. Look, Kirk Cousins puts up good numbers.
On non-primetime games.
Yeah, but he doesn't play very many primetime games.
True.
I mean, Kirk Cousins is a winning quarterback in this league. Kirk Cousins puts up points with the Minnesota Vikings.
So who would you compare Tua to then?
Tua?
Davis Mills?
No,
Lamar Jackson
Davis
trash?
Mills. If I had to put a comparison on Tua, God, that's a tough one. I think probably Ryan Tannehill.
Really?
Yeah.
And I think Ryan Tannehill is a quarterback that gets better every year, much like I mean, think about it. Ever since he has escaped that Adam Gase trap hole, that Bermuda Triangle,
he didn't escape an Adam Gase trap hole because he was in Miami.
Yeah, I mean
But
this is what his 3rd year as a starter in Tennessee.
But he's got King Henry running the ball. That's what he didn't have in Miami. He's got a running back that will carry the ball 40 times and run for 200 yards. That's what they do with King Henry. They don't pass. They don't put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands. And when they do have to put the ball in Ryan Tannehill's hands, they lose the game.
He has a hot wife though. Man, his wife's so hot.
Yeah, she is pretty hot.
Man, I would probably pay to. No, I'm done.
No, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. I only got $10.
You look at it's been 5 seconds since you made that statement, and you're already divorced.
Yeah, 100%. Actually, I just took an axe from my back as death do his part, and she just killed me. No,
the door blows off the garage.
What did you say? No. Drew says, Buck, did you take a hit of acid before the show? Actually, ecstasy. I do a line of ecstasy before every show to make sure you guys bring the best quality content as I can. It also enhances my stutter.
That actually explains a lot.
Makes it a lot more like, so.
Yeah.
So. But no, I've never done drugs before. Fun fact about me. So. Yeah. And watch this commercial and tell me that. Be right back.
You probably shouldn't hang out with me then.
Tell me why you haven't hit the like button yet. Tell me why you haven't subscribed yet. Tell me why you aren't commenting in the comments. All we want you to do is become a part of Man Hour Nation. Hit that like button, please. Thank you. Adios.
What's up, Man Hour Nation? Coming up here next on the Man Hour NFL Power Rankings with Graham Wallace. At Bus Wallums on the old Twitter machine. Check him out. But right now, guys, hit that like button, share this with a couple friends, and be sure to comment. It helps the channel more than you ever know. We appreciate everything you guys do for us here in the comments at youtube.com/manhour. Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Damn, man, let me borrow some money. Now, Philly, what do you need money for now? I'll be losing all my money on the pursuit of fantasy football, yo. I just need like 10 more dollars on my machine. Again, I told you to stop playing that site. You simply go to pick'emwars.com, link in the description, and you get to play for free. So you telling me I can play for free? That means 0, 0, 0, and Wilson Man Benjamins, yo. Listen, yeah, give me some of that free dough, you know what I'm saying? Oh.
Head over to pick'emwars.com and pick your games for free and win real money. Link in the description. Check it out. Hey, glad you're there. New merch. Check it out. manhourradio.com. Hey, look, a hot dog.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes, Law and Brandon. BC Combs. BC merch has dropped at manhourradio.com. Be sure to check it out. And I do love my wife very, very much. So, Javier, your wish is my command. Cindy, I love you, baby. So, with that being said, Javier says, don't be like me. Javier, don't be like me, because if you knew exactly what I did on the sidelines, you would be like, what is this wrong with this guy? But nonetheless, guys, here at Man Hour, we do have a script that we go by kind of roughly. But Combs, there's some breaking news that has kind of surfaced here in the last 5-10 minutes here on the Man Hour at youtube.com/Man Hour on the live show here, 9:15 East Coast time. But what has officially happened, Combs?
Reports have it that John Gruden has informed his staff that he plans to step down as the Raiders head coach amidst the DeMaurice Smith racial scandal.
So, guys, if you are unaware of what is going on with John Gruden here, this is just a rough outline here. So, an outline is from my English days back. You know, I can speak English and actually just not Buccaneers. But with that being said, basically what happened in 2011, the NFL Players Association was going to hold out and all that good jazz. And John Gruden was even working for the NFL. I believe he was working for ESPN. Like at the time, he was doing Monday Night Football and doing the John Gruden quarterback camp. And he basically said that the Players Association representative had big lips. That's basically what it come down to. So like Combs said, I'm going to take your words when you say it for a female, it is sexy, but when you say it to a black man, apparently that's racist. So,
Yeah,
John, go ahead.
I don't get it, man. I don't look. I know we don't like getting into some of these topics sometimes.
Get
and
into
I know
it,
that
Combs. Get
this
into
stuff is freaking. You know, people get mad about it. People want to talk about it. They get mad because you're on one side instead of on theirs. This is stupid.
Facts.
This is stupid. Because we say it about DeMaurice Smith, or because John Gruden said it about DeMaurice Smith, it's racist.
10 years ago,
We say it all the time about Angelina Jolie, right?
Yeah.
We say, like, dude, how many white people do you know that get lip injections? Tons.
A lot of
They got
DSL
big
lips,
lips.
right?
They got
DSL
big
lips.
lips. Like, what the? Like,
Yeah.
why? Why does everything have to turn into a racial comment? It's not a racial comment. He made a look. DeMaurice Smith doesn't have big lips. DeMaurice Smith is dumb. Morris Smith. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
So why, like, why do they have to, like, why is everything, the cancel culture kills me. Why do they have to turn everything into, oh, well, he's, first of all, it was 9 years ago.
No, 10 years ago. 2011. 10 years ago, yeah.
It's 10 years ago. He wasn't even the head coach.
No.
So he said something 10 years ago, and we want to bring it up now. Why do we care what he said 10 years ago? Stop.
Well, so, I mean, first things first. I mean, it is absolutely. So basically, I feel what happened is Morris said, John Gruden, pay me some money because, like, I know you're making $100 million to coach the Las Vegas Raiders right now. Give me about 20 million of that, and that email will go away. Basically, what happened, John Gruden said, you know what, screw you. And his Chucky Moore was like, no, I'm not paying you nothing, right? And bada bing, bada boom. Basically, somebody wants John Gruden's job. So the email surfaces, and that's what happens. I mean, that's what it comes down to, Combs.
It's just, it's so stupid. Like, like, it's not, like, I don't even understand. Like, is that really a thing? Like, is that a stereotype for black people? Is that they all have big lips? Because that's not true.
I mean,
I know,
some of them got,
like, I do know some celebrities. Like, you look at God, Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's got some big lips.
Yeah, he does.
But then, but look at Joan Rivers. She got some big lips too. But so what? Who cares? If you got big lips, you got big lips. If you got big ears, you got big ears. If you got a big dingaling, you become a porn star.
Yeah. Drew says yes, it is a stereotype. How is it a stereotype?
Why?
I don't know.
Why is that? Why is that? I don't.
Oh, okay.
I
so
would have never in a million years, if you would have said, "Name me a race with big lips." All of them. What do you mean?
Kim Kardashian, right? No,
Yes.
but I mean, you can say that about
Does she
flat
count
noses
as white
too.
or black? By the way.
I don't know what she is.
Okay.
I mean, I think both
random
of her
thought.
parents are white, but I mean, she's so fake that she's like turning black. I don't know what it is, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But
she's something.
Javier says my ex-wife got big lips and I love her lips. Yeah, I mean that's what big lips are all about.
Did he just say his ex-wife has big lips and he loves her lips?
Yeah.
I hope you don't have a girlfriend right now, Javier,
Yeah,
or a wife.
I hope you didn't.
Now
pay for
you
those
you
lips
gonna
either.
be you and Buck gonna be able to share a room tonight.
Hey, you know what, Javier? Come on up, man. There's plenty of room in the garage back here. But
I
this
just
is
don't get it, man.
this is just what irritates me about the society that we live in, Combs. To be honest with you, sorry, I saw a comment that I cracked me up a little bit. Javier or Drew says north or south, big lips. So we are we're going on the wrong side of the chat here real quick here. Way to go, Drew and Javier again. Do you remember that about a month ago when they got like dog poop or whatever it was, man? Like it was.
Yeah.
I was like, good. I just looked at him like, what is going on? I just turned the chat off. But do you remember the Kavanaugh thing a couple years ago when Trump like made him a Supreme Court justice or something to that effect? And this girl brought something up that happened in high school, completely made up, right? Why shouldn't there be some type of statute of limitation like hey, like you can't go back 15 years?
I mean, look, they've got stuff where I can't remember if it was an NFL player or an NBA player who, was like 26 or 27 in the league. They brought up a tweet from when he was 16.
Oh, that was
16.
that was Josh Allen too.
You're a kid. Like, you don't know any better. You're stupid. You say stupid stuff. You do stupid stuff when you're young. Hell, it took me till I was like 30 before I grew the hell up and stopped saying stupid stuff and started watching what I was, because it happens.
I'm 33 and still say stupid shit.
Look, if you say something when you're like, if I come out and I say something when I'm 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, 14, 15, 16, whatever the case is, am I really held accountable for something that I said back then? Because if so, like I can tell you right now, like shit, I'm an asshole.
Yeah, well, I'm just glad Twitter and Facebook were not around, or social media, or cell phones that had cameras back when I was in high school, because I would be in jail. Let's just be flat out honest. Like, I would not be seeing the light of jail whatsoever. And some are like Buck and never grow up. I mean, like Drew, you are absolutely right. I mean, I still act like I'm a 16-year-old just because, like, I enjoy having fun in life. I mean, like, if you guys would ever see me, like, outside of, like everything's a sexual reference, you know, like that's what she said. But it's just, I mean, like, look, it's just so dumb.
It's, if you can't accept people for who they are by now, for who they are as a person, and not worry about their skin color, not worry about this, not worry about that, then you're not a human being.
Just
like you're just an asshole anyway. So you're gonna be who you are because bad people are just bad people. Like I don't look and say, you know, I look at it all the time. People ask me all the time, like I'm a big baseball guy. If I had one person in the world I could ever interview and bring back from the dead and interview, it'd be Jackie Robinson. I did a whole thing on it when I was going to school for sports broadcasting. I love Jackie Robinson. I don't love Jackie Robinson because he was black. I love Jackie Robinson because he had the intestinal fortitude to go against the grain and do things that nobody else could do. And he was a trendsetter. But it's not because he was a black ball player. My favorite player right now in the league is Javier Baez. Do you think I care that he comes from Puerto Rico? No. Who cares? Just like I don't understand the mental makeup. I don't understand the mentality of we don't like somebody just because of the color of their skin. Because I'll tell you what, I know plenty of people that are of ethnic descent that I like way more than people who are white. And it's because of their personality. It's not because of the color of their skin.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand the mental makeup. And it's, to be honest with you, the way I think is more normal than the way of what's going on right now. The way everything has to be a racial issue, the way everything has to be tension, the way everything has to be offensive. It's not. Just stop with that. It's just, it drives me absolutely bonkers. Because it's just, it really is, man. Social media has taken a hold of society. And if something offends you, man, you break out that camera, you put it all over on blast, you make it go viral, and it's going to become a thing. And it's stupid.
Yeah.
It's absolutely stupid. We'd rather take a guy like, and I'm going to say it, and I'm probably going to piss some people off right now, but you take a guy like George Floyd, a career criminal, a career drug addict, and we immortalize him. Why? Because somebody was offended about the way a bad cop, a bad person, handled the situation. So all of a sudden, we're making statues out of him, but we're tearing down statues of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves.
Very, very true. And just to reiterate, when the whole George Floyd thing happened, Combs was the first one to say that the cops screwed up. So I mean, they were like,
yeah, he was an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, like he
deserves to go to prison.
Yeah, so like I just want to make sure we clear on that.
No,
like,
I'm equal. I'm on both sides of the fence. Look,
right.
if you're a bad person, you're a bad person. I don't care what the color of your skin was. The cop was in the wrong. But George Floyd is not somebody to be recognized. There's no George Floyd Day. There's no, in remembrance. Like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
And the weird thing about that is
do we have a Jeffrey Dahmer Day? Can we have a Jeffrey Dahmer Day?
I don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer is.
Jeffrey Dahmer was the guy, the serial killer who killed people and eat their parts. But he was gay and he was white. So can we have a day for him?
No, because he's white.
But he was a criminal, and I mean he died in prison. He was murdered in prison by inmates. It was an inmate who was black, so maybe it was a hate crime, and maybe I'm offended by the fact that Jeffrey Dahmer died. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. It's stupid.
I don't know. It is very, very stupid, and I couldn't agree more.
Let's get back to sports.
Let's get back to sports here, Combs, because coming out with Combs is coming up later here in about 10 minutes 15 minutes on the show. So Combs, be prepared for that, because I need you to bring back your blood pressure and then bring it back up like again, so we don't have to call 911 tonight. But last night we did touch a little bit on the Browns Chargers game, and we briefly touched on it. But after rewatching the game today, I saw the final 2-3 minutes of the game, and the Cleveland Browns, they seem to not have faith in Baker Mayfield to win them the game. The play calling was very passive at best, kind of like, oh yeah, we're only down by 5, whatever, we'll just kind of do what we do. Combs, do you think the Browns do not trust Baker Mayfield?
No, I think they trust him. I just don't think they feel he has any weapons right now without Jarvis Landry. I don't think that they trust Odell Beckham to get the ball. I don't think that they trust any of their wide receivers to make a big play right now. And that's a problem. I mean, Baker Mayfield's trying to do a lot more with his legs than he's trying to do with his arm. And the play calling hasn't been great the last couple of weeks in Cleveland. They did beat the Vikings, but it was only 14-7. And, they still put up points. They put up 42 points.
Right.
So, I don't think that it's a thing where they don't trust Baker Mayfield. I mean, he did throw the ball 32 times. I think you also have Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt running the ball. And those are two very dynamic running backs. And they can make some things happen. And that's kind of what their scheme is around. It's a lot like the Tennessee Titans scheme. Let's run the ball, and then surprise you with a pass. And so they stuck to their game plan. Look, the Chargers are just a really good team. It's okay to say that they're, but even though they lost, it's okay to say it was just really two really good teams going at it.
Right. Yeah. So, like, what you said there, you nailed it right on the head. They have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Guys, these guys alone are starters on any other team of the NFL. They are a 1-2 punch in Cleveland. And on the season, they have a little over 800 yards. Nick Chubb is averaging 4 yards a game, and Kareem Hunt is averaging 60 yards per game. When you have 160 yards repetitively on the ground over and over and over, why do you need to rely on Baker Mayfield to, win you ball games per se? But this is about Sunday night game, Sunday afternoon game. Yes, the play calling was very, very conservative, but I don't think it's because they don't have faith in Baker. Combs, I think you nailed it. They don't have faith in Odell Beckham Jr. They don't have faith in the tight ends. So they were playing not to win the game, but not to lose the game either. They were hoping to maybe break a big play here or there to get them into scoring range, and then they maybe would have, pushed it down the field a little bit more. But the problem that I have with the Browns right now is giving up 47 points to the Chargers. Yes, the Chargers are a very, very good team. Let's not take that from whatsoever. I think they're the best team in the AFC. But when you give up 47 points with this defense that they have, this is the same defense that your Chicago Bears gave up 9 sacks to. And now they're giving up 47 points. That's kind of a concern for me a little bit. Do you think maybe there's a little bit of trouble on the defensive side of the ball?
Sorry, I had something ringing in my ear just now. Which team are we talking about?
The Cleveland Browns.
The Cleveland Browns. Yeah, so on the defensive side of the ball, I wouldn't say I would think that anything is wrong. I mean, they looked pretty good against the Bears a couple weeks ago when they had 9 sacks. The previous 2 weeks, yes, they gave up 47 points yesterday, but the previous 2 weeks prior to that, they had given up 13 total points. So, yesterday it was just two really good teams going up against each other. They got the Cardinals this week. They're probably going to give up a lot of points there too.
Yeah. Well, also on the flip side of that coin, the Browns do have 4 players out from last week as well. So Clowney was out, Greg Newsome was out, Jeremiah Osa, how you say that guy's name from Notre Dame? That's your boy, the linebacker Osa Kamoa. Yeah, I don't want to butcher his name too bad. But yeah, so I mean, they definitely had some key players out, right? But on the hindsight, I mean, they still lost, but they are still a good team moving forward. Guys, let's go ahead and take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we do got coming up with Combs.
You want me to pronounce it for you?
Go ahead.
Owusu Koromoa.
Koromoa. I was close, Vanilla Wafer. But Javier says Mini Baker holdup is stopping
because I'm
new
white?
commercials. Yeah. No, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers lineman that we were making fun of. Well, not really making fun of, but when they traded him from
Villanueva?
the Ravens. Yeah. We're right back, guys.
And that really happened. He actually said vanilla wafer on purpose.
Yeah, it was on purpose, by the way. We'll be right back, guys.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckheiser with Brandon Combs. Now you can find us on Twitter at manhour_Buck, and you find Combs at manhour_Combs on the old Twitter machine. If you guys have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, head over to youtube.com/manhour and subscribe to that YouTube channel. Hit that like button, share this with a couple friends. We do upload clips every 3 hours over there, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So there's plenty of Man Hour to go around, guys. So be sure to share this with a couple friends. You know, sharing is caring here at Man Hour Nation. Also, if you missed any part of the live show whatsoever, you can find us on podcast form at manhourradio.com by simply click on the podcast link or head over to iHeartRadio, iTunes, or Spotify and download the podcast. So it'd be greatly appreciated if you guys would download that. Leave us a ranking over there on your podcast form of choice. But it is that time of night. Every Monday night, we let Brandon Combs simmer in the background, and then he gives us his eye test. So the eye test with Combs is coming up right here on the Man Hour. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, because Combs is going to bring some heat.
Let's do it. It's the eye test, baby. And there was a comment made after the White Sox-Astros game last night that the Astros possibly could be cheating again. Ryan Tepera, after the game, said you just have to look at it. You have to look at their swing and miss ratio at Minute Maid compared to their swing and miss ratio on the road. So I did. And their swing to miss ratio at home compared to on the road, when they are on the road, they have 400 over the season, over 400 more swing and misses on the road. That's a lot. That is a lot. That's an average of about 6 per game. But that's a lot. And maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe it's not trash cans this time. I have heard, people talking about whistling. The Yankees had actually said something about whistling coming from their dugout earlier in the season. The Oakland A's took exception to maybe some whistling from the dugout coming from the Oakland A's this season. There's something to it. 400 more swing and misses on the road than at home. That is a ton of swing and misses. And then Dusty Baker wants to come out today and say, well, you know, if you're going to accuse me, you gotta look at yourself. No, Dusty. We have to look at the team that just got caught for this last year. The reason why you're the manager is because of this scandal. And it's still the same players. You wouldn't be the manager of this Houston Astros team if it wasn't for the fact that they all got a deal and got out of trouble for snitching on everybody who was doing it. And then the managers took the brunt of the blow. It's atrocious. And there's absolutely 110% something to it. Just look at the numbers. That's the eye test.
And guys, that is going to be it for Man Hour tonight. But before we head out, we got to give a huge shout out to Javi. He dropped a 99-cent super chat. Man, thank you for your added support here to the Man Hour at youtube.com/Man Hour. Man, we appreciate everything that you do for us, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same location. I believe we're going to have Spilled Soup on. I'm not for sure. We had to work out our schedules here a little bit, but we'll figure out what's going on till tomorrow, guys. And Luke G is special guest tomorrow as Combs is coaching some girls basketball. So good luck to Combs for tomorrow. But Combsy, send us out, big guy.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.